What's up, everybody? This is Baka Bites. I am Frankfurter, and with me today is a special guest. We have BitKing, aka Danny. Danny's a buddy of ours. Magically Average is off in Fairy Tale Land at Disney World this week, or, well, kind of weekend. He's just getting back tomorrow, so I had to last minute remember to ask a friend to stand in for Magically Average. So today we have BitKing. Danny, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. I am doing great.
Wonderful. I know that we just botched an intro because I forgot to. I thought I had hit the recording button. It didn't record. So take number two. What got you? Like, before I actually fucking ask this question, Jesus, I am jumping stairs right now. Um, Today, Danny BitKing here. As you've put it, you are a very casual anime enjoyer. You watch things that you either hear or like kind of like super hyped up. You watched it as a kid, like kind of like I did when we were in the 90s kids. You watched it on Toonami, WB, etc. But like, what as a casual anime fan, like you asked me, hey, catch me up to speed. I have some questions. You have some things you can talk about. Let's kind of just discuss this as the topic of the night. So today we're talking to our, in the best possible way. This is not any sort of mean, derogatory mentioning. We're talking to a normie today. Just to see, like, your perspective on the medium compared to our perspective on the medium, which is very much so, like, we are very ingrained in it. We know a lot about it, etc. So again, I'm going to ask you the question because I nearly asked it again, so this is take number three. What got you into anime, Danny?
Yeah, it's like growing up in the 90s, Kids of BB, Toonami in Mexico, Canal Cinco, like you would see things there. Uh and it was weird because like for a while like I don't know your school, but definitely my school in the United States, it absolutely like I don't care what kind of revisionist ass history people are trying to do now, where it's like, oh no, anime was always cool, like you guys were just weird. It's like no,
No.
no. If there was like a sniff of weeb on you, like people there was like blood in the water and they were sharks, they would just like find any way to do that. And so it was absolutely not cool. And so like definitely kind of kept me at my distance. Um, but like that was kind of like a predominantly white middle school, white not American middle
Yeah.
school. And then when I got to high school and I met like other Hispanic people, other black people, and like don't get me wrong, like we definitely were kind of like now the word you would say is cringe, but what teenager isn't? But like that's when I was really into like okay, like I can enjoy like anime as like a medium,
Yeah.
but even then for a while, both of us grew up watching before Crunchyroll, so like it was still like whatever you could find access to. And in the 2010s, I feel like the biggest thing was shonen anime, where which is probably like for better or worse is my bread and butter. Like I can there's that like bell curve thing where like the beginning is like Dragon Ball is peak, and then like the middle one is like actually Dragon Ball is cringe, and then you come out the other side like actually Dragon Ball is peak. That's kind of where I'm at. Where like I've seen some other things. At least I have at least I can defend it. I can do especially since having read the manga. That's the other thing. I think COVID is also what got me fully into like reading manga. Like I read my first manga, which was the Demon Slayer manga during COVID. That's what like I
So
went fully from like a full watcher to I can read this shit now.
fair enough. And then we're gonna use Demon Slayer as just a jumping point. Like, uh, in my opinion, and I feel like Tyler's opinion as well, like shonen as a whole is kind of very vanilla. There are
Hmm.
certainly exceptions to the rule, but like there's this huge clamor that like Demon Slayer is like the peak of the peak, the top of the top, the best of the best, whatever. And
Hmm.
Tyler and I are like, yeah, the animation's great, but like story wise, this is just doggy doo doo. Would Tyler and I not having read Demon Slayer, and you like, I assume since you said you read it, you've read all of it, or have you just read part of
Yeah.
it? Okay,
No, I read the whole thing. Yeah, I watched season one of the anime whenever it came out. I was like, okay, this is cool. But then like I found out that like the manga was completed, and then like I think you put me onto the Shonen Jump app actually.
Doesn't
Like
surprise me, but yeah.
yeah, wait, I think way back yeah, before we ever met in person actually. But yeah, like I just like started reading that. Like when basically I kept getting spoiled online. Like especially in COVID, like um all chronically online, like everyone, even like and then I spent more time online and I kept getting spoiled for My Hero Academia. That's what it was. Like that one in
Ah,
particular, I kept getting that one I actually do care about and I have like nuanced opinions about it. Even I do, especially you can see me. I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a superhero fan. Like before anything else.
yeah.
So I have like that opinions on that one, but I kept getting spoiled on it. So I'm like, fuck, okay. So I guess I'll start reading this shit. I kind of agree with you. I think I might be jumping the gun a little bit where like Demon Slayer, it's so painfully baby's first anime. Like it is so painfully like this like if it wasn't for COVID, I probably would not have read it. Like
Yeah. No,
mhm.
I 100% agree. I guess what I kind of really wanted to ask about Demon Slayer, not as necessarily a whole, but for the anime wise, we've talked a lot in the past few months, Tyler and I, about anime movies and how things are adapted and whatnot. Like, have you gone out to watch the Demon Slayer movie that just came out a month ago or so?
I went to watch like Zenitsu's probably my favorite character
How?
from
How?
that
Okay,
anime.
hold on. No, 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 no. We're pivoting now. What the fuck, Danny? Really? Fucking
Yeah.
crybaby Zenitsu?
Yeah, that's the point. It's the
Oh
point.
no, Danny.
Then okay, I should correct myself. Is that like
Shit.
kind of like what you were saying, where like a lot of shonen is very vanilla. Like Zenitsu is probably the only unique character in Demon Slayer. Like like
Expand, because I feel like they're all very different personalities.
well no, but like Tanjiro, like you describe him and like a good-hearted, pure of heart, and blah blah blah. That describes 10 other shonen main characters. Zen not Zen,
Inosuke?
Inosuke, yeah, like bullheaded, like he's Vegeta. Like I describe him, and if I describe him, you wouldn't know if I'm talking about him or Vegeta. The only other character across like any other shonen show I can think of to compare Zenitsu to is Usopp from One Piece. And Usopp actually is my favorite character, like actual
Oh
favorite
my
character from One
sweet baby
Piece.
Jesus. You and I have the opposite opinions of these characters because I
But
hate both of them.
see see like what's it called? I love Usopp as a teenager I hated him. But as an adult, I'm like, oh shit. Like all the reasons I hated Usopp as a teenager is why I'm like, oh shit. I see myself. Like that's just fully me. Zenitsu is at least is like, okay, he's like an interest the thing is interesting. And overall, like the thing with Demon Slayer, and this is all shonen. I've it took me a while, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I'm assuming you've seen more than me, where like they start off interesting and then they get popular and then they let the fans start dictating what they can and can't do and then it
um
becomes boring.
like there are certainly series like that. I wouldn't say every series, let alone every shonen series is like that.
Mhm.
I think a really good example of that right now, I wouldn't even say that the fans are controlling it, but it started off interesting, then it got really weirdly convoluted, and now I'm like, what character is what character from the beginning of this series? I don't even know anymore. There's a series on Shonen Jump called News Exorcist. I really loved the first like few arcs; they were very interesting, and then they started introducing girls that looked exactly the same, and I'm like, who the fuck, which one is this? Like, other than calling them by name, it's like they all look very similar with minor differences, and I'm just like, okay. And then like at a certain point you're like, yeah, something happened behind the scenes that this pivoted hard. into just like being a semi harem show, like a shonen series. So yeah, like it happens, but it's not all the time. Outside of Zenitsu and Usopp, we're just gonna put a pin in that one because Jesus Christ, Danny. Uh, no, we talked about in the past few months the whole trend of movies and whatnot, just to get us back on
Oh,
track. So
wait, yeah.
you were saying
Okay,
you did go see it in theaters, correct?
I went to see half of it because
Okay,
I I have AMC A list, so I can just what's it called?
you just
I get
see a
three.
movie or whatever twice or four
Yeah,
times a week or whatever.
exactly. So I was just like, okay, I wanted to see that fight because like if nothing else, like, no, you gotta give me this. Like the lightning style animation wise is cool to see. I
So
just wanted to
you
see that on
went
a big screen.
just to see Zenitsu's fight and then you dipped out.
Yeah.
Honestly, you probably have better timing than the rest of us because the entirety rest of that movie was just one fight. Regardless of how I feel about the pacing of that show, what are your thoughts about like the trend of just anime coming to theaters, but let alone Demon Slayer being like the final arc being split up into 3 movies?
That's it'd be one thing. So it'd be one thing if like they came out at at a good cadence.
Mm-hmm.
But like
It's every two
uh
years. Each movie is gonna take 2 years to come out.
so like you're telling me that like you're telling me that
The last movie will
the
come out in
last movie
2029.
2029.
Yes.
So it like let's say this show popped off during COVID 2020. That's
Mm-hmm.
when I read it. Sure, that's when it became
That's
like
when it did pop off. It was 2020.
so 10 years. So like 13-year-olds who like got into it like at the same age more or less we did are going to be like damn near able to rent a car by the time this like thing ends unless they read it.
Yeah, no, essentially because yeah,
That's
the show started in 2019, so it'll take 10 years to adapt all of the entirety of the show.
okay. Well, when you say it like that, actually, like I think about like Naruto, who like that like went on for like
Yeah,
God knows how long.
but you got to think like Demon Slayer had 23 volumes. Naruto, oh god, I put an E in Naruto. That's not right.
You're getting old.
Dude, yeah, the amount of fucking typos and everything else. Golly, nope. Here we go. Yeah, Naruto had 17 or 72. Sorry, 72 volumes in comparison to 27. I think is what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So like 10 years to adapt all of Demon Slayer. Naruto, the baby Naruto was 5 years, and Naruto Shippuden was 10 years. Putting that into perspective, 15 years for 72 volumes compared to 10 years for 23.
Yeah, but yeah, it also is weird coming like when I got back into anime like fully like in 2020. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, what do you mean? What do you mean the kids aren't doing filler these days? What do you mean there's no like side arcs with
It is
like
very seldom.
characters who don't matter and the characters start acting completely differently? What do you mean? There's what do you mean the kids don't have to deal with this these
Well,
days?
so in retrospect, though, they are dealing with a different type of filler in which they're, certain shows, and One Piece is the easiest one to pick on here, where
Mm-hmm.
an entire episode takes an entire chapter. So they're filling out what happens in that chapter to the umpth degree. Like, would you rather
Yeah.
have the fillers where you are saying like they go off on a wacky adventure where characters don't act like they normally do or something happens, or would you rather have filler where it's like here's the story but we're just going to draw it all the way out? Like
Yeah, it's
which
like
would you rather have?
fuck. I mean, if as long as that character stay consistent. I mean, we grew up with the Dragon Ball of like 3 episodes of screaming.
Dude,
So
I mean, I will say Dragon Ball still has my favorite filler episode in which Goku learns how to drive a car.
amazing,
It's
truly.
one of the best filler episodes in all the worst ways. But
See,
yeah,
but like they still act themselves is the thing. I think that's what makes good filler is that like if the characters act like themselves and they don't try to like retroactively change some things,
yeah.
then like that's when filler becomes good. Is like I love these characters, let me put them in these like sitcom ass like situations. I realize I'm talking a lot I mean I think that like a true normie would call me a weeb. And but
Yeah, I mean,
like, what do you mean you read?
yeah, that's true. Usually normies don't read, and if they do, it's not on purpose. But yeah, no. So I mean, shonen, I feel like from when we grew up to now, really haven't changed all that much outside of, I would say, filler. Filler is definitely not a thing anymore.
Hmm.
Um, and we do have a bunch of, like, we are seeing a bunch of shonen series that are ending. I mean, Demon Slayer eventually is going to end in 4 years. Attack on Titan ended 2 years ago. My Hero's in its last season right now. Like, there's a lot of
Hmm.
shonen, that aren't, or that are going to be ending. With that being said, do you think shows like Solo Leveling are kind of just like a natural step into these shows that are ending? Like, did you think that Solo Leveling, did you think it was a good show? Series overall, like, and like everything about it, did you think it was good?
So
And B, like,
go
do you
ahead.
think it's a good solid step into, like, do you think it can last like a Naruto has, or a Demon Slayer has, My Hero has, etc.? Like, do you think that it has the staying power potentially?
So it's funny because I read like the first 5 volumes of Solo Leveling, and I think reading it was my problem because I just got so bored because it was just like I just didn't like from like a comic perspective. Like I did like going back to like Demon Slayer. One of the reasons I was able to read it is because at least in the beginning, the paneling was good. Like there would be an attack. It would start in one panel and then finish in another panel right below it. Like okay, that's good. That's good use of like the comic medium. Um, but like Solo Leveling didn't really have that. At least I don't remember. So when I watched the show, I'm like, okay, I read it and then I kind of fell off, and so I haven't really seen the anime like in its entirety. But I think yes and no. I think uh at least like in the like the black like the Hispanic community, and like anecdotally from my friends who are black, that like one of the reasons like things like Naruto, Bleach, and like Dragon Ball have the cultural staying power, in my opinion, for the worst. Like the fact that like there you can still buy Naruto merch in 2025 as
Yeah.
much as you could 10 years ago is because of like of all the emotional stuff. There's like the sad swinging in the park thing. Uh I think I don't think from what I have seen and what I've read, like Solo Leveling doesn't really have that emotion, but it is cool. Like that's the thing. I think that's the thing about like shonen is that like it gives you like the barest like concept of a plot. Like it gives you
You're
like
getting
I've
there.
thought
You're getting there. Bring
it's
us
like
home.
it's like like I think that's what Solo Leveling is missing. It's like the concept of emotion, the concept of like the
Well,
barest faint of like a
some would argue
through line.
that the fact that, well, the through line essentially kind of ends in season 2. Like, the
Hmm.
main objective was to, like, cure his mom of this disease. And then
Yeah.
that episode becomes like the worst rated episode on Crunchyroll because it has some sort of emotion. But also, like, as the series goes on, like, the main character, he like loses emotions because of all this power and whatnot. So I mean, it
Hmm.
does have some of that. But yeah, I would agree that once that kind of through line of save his mom, like, it kind of just disappears until another one reappears, and it's not very convincing. Like, I,
Hmm.
I don't get me wrong, I enjoy the anime. I think the anime was wonderfully animated because, again, to your point, and you have similar thoughts to that I do, the manga's great, but the paneling shots can sometimes be awkward in the sense of just like, what direction am I facing? Are we in the sky? Am I upside down?
Hmm.
Like, it can be a bit disorienting, but at the same time, like, that action is going on. It's probably easier to follow if it's animated, in which it is. It is 100% easier to follow when it's animated. So yeah, I don't know. I think it will have the staying power just for the fact that people loved. I think it'll have the staying power for the casual audience,
Yeah.
because the casual audience is the vocal minority, majority. I don't even know at this point, because there are a lot of casual fans that will speak up about it nowadays, and I feel like Tyler and I are kind of more every week in the minority of just like we are in the weeds of it.
Hmm.
So
I think
regardless, I do think it does have some stopping power with or staying power with the casual audience, but for people like Tyler and I, and even you, who's borderline on that normie weeb
hmm
border, I think it's kind of just like, it's fine.
yeah, I think well, one of the things is that one of my good friends is a teacher, and so like when we hang out, like every once in a while, like a student will recognize him, and it's like, hey, Mr. Smith, not his name, hey, Mr. Smith, and like I'll see Naruto shirts, I'll see like Demon Slayer shirts, but like uh I've never seen what's it called, like solo leveling shirts. I
Yeah,
think, but also I that and then that could speak to a larger thing of maybe it does have the cultural staying power, but not because it's necessarily good, but because um
it's hype.
what else could really take its place right now? Like what is like the
Yeah,
like what is this generation, or not this decades, because 2019, yeah, this decade's Demon Slayer,
yeah,
the
and
next great thing could be starting right now.
you have a good point there, because like as it comes to like action shonen, we have all these shows that are kind of aging out and ending. And it's like,
Hmm.
what is that next thing that's going to pick up the mantle? I mean, you have Solo Leveling, which is trying its best. But
Oh,
as you were saying, like, yeah, I don't see people with t shirts out. I don't even see people who cosplay it, because the cosplay is really just like
a guy
normal,
in a shirt.
everyday clothing, unless you're
Wait,
like dressing up as like one of the orc generals or some shit like that.
wait, I just remembered Jujutsu Kaisen. That was the other one that like I read it, and that one I felt special connection to because the creator is our age, and like
Theoretically, nobody knows who the creator is.
well, yeah, they've said to 33 or something like
Okay,
that.
so
Like,
yeah,
but regardless, but even without really knowing that, like it just confirmed that like, you know, Kakashi, reverse Kakashi covers his eyes instead of his face. The person who has the person that wears green that can't use magic is like a really good fighter. Like it's
Mashal.
very uh the girl in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking different show. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking
she's
about. I don't. I'm awful with names when it comes to
yeah,
Jujutsu
same.
Kaisen.
Yeah, but she's Rock Lee. Like, and the mech that they have, that's Evangelion, that's not Gundam. So like it's like this really Jujutsu Kaisen, I feel like up until now has been like the mainstream audience has like loved it because it's kind of the opposite of all the problems that I have with a lot of shonen, where it's like a lot of like My Hero Academia starts off as like a deconstruction of what it means to be a hero, and then ends just being a regular run of the mill battle shonen. Beautiful
Yeah,
animation, but like ends up the same. Versus Jujutsu Kaisen, from what I read the manga, so I know it starts off as like a regular battle shonen, like, oh, this is Bleach and Naruto, but like dark, grim dark,
yeah,
and then ends up being a deconstruction that it'll be really interesting to see how the
yeah.
mainstream audiences react.
From what Tyler has told me, in the sense that he's read it as well, and he is just like, yeah, this next season's gonna be awful. Like this is the
Hmm.
start of like where it kind of like declines in quality storytelling wise, and really just
Hmm.
kind of everything, other than probably fight scenes, I would assume, because I know that, that's the thing that Jujutsu Kaisen really has going for it. Like like Demon Slayer, it's got a very vanilla line, or like through line. It's like, gather the fingers, eat the fingers, don't get possessed by Sakuna, or
Hmm.
however you pronounce his name. Like that's your through line, that is the very basis of the show. And then it's just like, great, I feel like season 2 lost a lot of that because it's just like it was no longer focusing on fingers. It was a battle between demons and the one side
Mhm.
and the other, and that I don't know. I am very curious to see how season 3 goes. But Jujutsu Kaisen's another example of anime movies because this is the other thing that Tyler fucking hates and I enjoy. There's also a trend of anime quote unquote movies. We'll just call them premieres for the short of it. Anime premieres where it's either they do a recap of last season and then the first couple episodes or of the next season, or if it's a new show, they'll show like the first 3 to 4 episodes of that show. Like, is that like as somebody who doesn't who went to fucking Demon Slayer just to watch one fight and then bounce, like does that interest you? Is that like a trend that you see staying or you can get yourself behind or no?
If I was younger, absolutely. If there was AMC A list when I was 13, I would absolutely be going to the like all or like back before they had assigned seats. Yeah, when I was 13, there was no assigned seats. Like there was
Oh, I
literally one time
remember.
that yeah, like my mom dropped me off at like a 10 o'clock matinee showing of like I God knows what, and then like I just stayed the whole like I don't like I saw so many movies I did not give a shit about just because like well it's playing, it's air conditioned. I live in Florida, so like it's air conditioned. I don't want to be outside, and so I would just pop in around movies. When I was younger, absolutely, but like now that I'm older, like already it's hard for me to get to the theater. It's already hard to like find the time to like go and sit down and dedicate 2 hours.
Yeah.
So like for me personally, no. But like also I think this is also just like and this speaks to a larger thing of like theaters are dying. We're in a recession and they're just like trying to get people out. But then I don't know. I am happy it exists for like a younger audience, especially in like a streaming age where
You're
like everyone
calling me
has Crunchyroll.
young? Oh, thanks, buddy. No, I'm
Uh,
kidding.
what I mean, hey, you are young at heart. You got more
Yeah.
toys than I do.
This is true. I got a lot of books and a lot of toys behind me. But yeah, no. So I think that it's a fine trend. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like it's not for everybody, but for those who want to go do it, great. It's there for you. And I'm kind of in
Mhm.
that boat. Like there's things that I pick and choose to go see. I'm pretty much all of the premieres I think I've seen except for one of them maybe. And I'm still like debating if I'm gonna go see the Jujutsu Kaisen one. If my buddy Toe drags me to it and he really wants to go, then I'll go with him.
I also maybe this is a point into me being in like back to normie. I feel like I haven't seen anything about the Jujutsu. Like this is literally me learning right now that there is a Jujutsu Kaisen movie in theaters.
So it's coming out in December. It's the recap of the Shibuya incident, not the not the one before, like the 4 episodes, like the
Mm.
flashback episodes. It's the Shibuya incident, and then the first 2 episodes of the Culling game.
Oh god, the calling games.
That's where I
Uh,
hear it goes just downhill.
it's not. Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. But yeah, um, to kind of get away from shonen, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Like,
Mhm.
other than shonen shows that like are the big mainstream titles, like what other shows do you watch or have you watched in the past few years that you're like, I actually love this, and this was a great like anime was a great medium to bring this type of story to life.
I don't know if it counts. But Vinland Saga, from what I've
That is a
read,
seinen,
Vinland
so
Saga.
yeah, it's not a shonen, so you're good there.
Okay, yeah, I've like started to read it. I really love it. There's like a couple like panels of like I want to be a stronger man. Like I want to get that tattooed somewhere. Um, you have like you put like the free run worm in my brain. I haven't seen it yet, but like I
You
think
gotta watch it.
I think that's the thing is that like I think that is one of the things that like definitely puts me on the casual thing where I'm not the kind of person that will watch something because like if there's like a thing I like about it like fantasy, you described it as Lord of the Rings, cool, that's it, and then You got me just from that. And then, oh, it's an anime, whatever. Cool. Like I have Crunchyroll, even though I pay for it way more than I should. So I can watch it there. So like really the plot or the tropes or whatever, they get me first, and then the medium comes second.
Okay. Because
Like
yeah,
you also got me into Witch Hat Atelier. I'm on volume 8 of that. It's
hell
so
yeah.
good.
Next
Like
year,
the art
buddy.
is
Next
so.
year. Anime
Is that
got
official?
delayed. But I'm excited.
Is that official? Because like
Yeah.
I remember it was supposed to come out this year, and I was like,
Yeah, so
where is it?
Kodansha posted a couple months ago that it's been delayed to 2026. It was right before the fall season started in
Mm.
God, was it the end of September, early October? Yeah, I guess it was. It was Jesus over a month ago. Dude, this year is flying by like no other.
It
Like
really
it
is.
felt it like September was yesterday and it's already November 10th. So, but yeah, no,
Black Friday is happening.
God, that's a thing I hadn't even thought of. Jeez Louise. So, I mean, kind of just the free run worm that I placed in you that you're still like, yeah, I guess I gotta watch this. I will
Mhm.
say that like as a whole, where anime is right now, there's a few kind of buckets you can put everything into currently. You've got your shonen, which is it's always there. There's always something going on. It's that was the one thing we didn't talk about. There's a larger Shonen Jump property that they finally brought to anime, and it is not doing like it did fine. The first season wasn't great. Second season was a lot better, but still was just fine. And that was Sakamoto Days. So it
Oh,
kind
okay.
yeah. So like
That
that
one I wanted to read it because literally the main thing of like, oh, the character is 35 and not a teenager. Like,
is he 35? I thought he was older than that, but you might be right. Yeah, but
mm,
yeah, no, that came out. It's on the first two seasons are on Netflix. It's like 11 episodes for the second season and 11 or 12 for the first, something like
hmm
that. But like that was an example of just like this should have been a show that could have popped off. Excuse me, and it just didn't for
mm.
reasons which we'll talk about. I guess I should have brought this up later because no, we'll just talk about it now. There is a trend of anime recently where I will like to put them in a bucket called lazy animation. Like, could be great if it weren't for lazy animation.
hmm
Um, in which what I call lazy animation, I'm not looking like every show doesn't need to be a ufotable like Demon Slayer doesn't need to be Chainsaw Man. It doesn't need to be like doing everything and more. But you have shows like Sakamoto Days to an extent, and I think the biggest example for me right now is a show that came out last season or 2 seasons ago called The Water Magician, where
hmm
these would be wonderfully great shows. These would be absolutely excellent shows that I would blanket recommend to people like you. But I can't because I know you care about the quality of a show, let alone the quality of like the story. And the quality of the show is not very good. Like the action sequences are like essentially still frames with a bunch of like blurred lines where they the like tactic where they like wouldn't say like Midoriya is like running through town and they have kind of like the blurred lines as if to show like he is
Oh,
running.
like the SpongeBob vision, like with the Mr. Krabs meme, where he's like disoriented.
Not disoriented, but yes, for the lack of a better, yeah, where it's just like
This
it looks like he's running very fast, but they're conveying that through like a bunch of lines going across the screen very quickly.
what was that soccer anime that like they called it like a
Blue Lock.
PowerPoint presentation? Okay, yeah, that's the one I've heard. I didn't watch it because I heard that. The one I experienced that with was
Blue Lock is also in
Uzuma
that bucket as well, at least for season 2. Season 1 was good, but season 2, yeah.
Uzumaki. That was the one where like I guess they
Mm.
blew their load on like the
Yep.
budget for the first episode, and then the second one was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, no, so there is a category like where I would say is just lazy animation where it's just a still frame and then they put those blurring lines as if shit is going crazy or whatever in the background, but it's just like these people are standing around, you have background noise of like swords clinking together just like bing bang boom and it's just like this is really bad. Like this like I understand you probably don't want to show like 15 people fighting at once. Understandable. But when you
Mm-hmm.
have a main character who's like jumping backwards and his face is just ah, and you just like see it just zoomed out with like fucking lines going across it as if he's moving quickly, this lazy animation, it
Mm-hmm.
ruins the experience. And there are a ton of shows that are coming out like that now that I feel like could be very good shows if it weren't for that. And I get that you have to stay on budget. It is what it is, but it's just like there
Yeah.
are a bunch of like, if we're categorizing where we are with anime right now, that is definitely a bucket of like, here are some really good shows that have shit animation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then you've got a few other buckets. We are seeing a very big resurgence in fantasy shows, which I'm so happy about. So you
Mm-hmm.
hit it with Free Run. Free Run is like the biggest one right now. Delicious in Dungeon is another one, which if you have not
Oh,
watched or
yeah.
read, wonderful. Um, you also have coming out Witch Hat Atelier, as you said, that's coming out next year. But then there are also like a few shows that I feel like some people watched and were like, "This is incredible. This is really good." And others that people I feel like watched and whoever watched it was like, "This is great," but couldn't get anybody to watch it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the show that everybody like, I feel like the people who watched it were like, "This is great." Like to more extent, like it did get like its time to shine in the spotlight. Was Secrets of the Silent Witch, which came out about I think it was
Oh,
last season. Um,
Secrets of the
I can
Silent
send it. I
Witch.
can send you a list later. It's fine. But Secrets of the Silent Witch was one which I thought was a wonderful series. Like I've started, like I picked up volume one of the manga on a whim. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I enjoy a good, like, not necessarily silent protagonist, but like anxiety ridden protagonist. Like that to me, like that speaks volumes. I love those type of stupid
Relatable.
characters. Yeah. And I absolutely was like floored by volume one. I was like, home, I need more of this immediately. And then lo and behold, it's a light novel. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to read. Uh, so I waited for the anime, but that one was great. And then another one which I've been trying to get Tyler to watch, which he will not watch, and I've started reading it now because I don't think we're ever gonna get a season two, unfortunately. Is a little gem called Wistoria Wand and Sword. I think that the
Mhm.
world building in that series is wonderful. The characters are great. I think that that is a very very beautiful diamond in the rough. And again, fantasy as a whole, I feel like is having a resurgence. There are obviously like stinker shows out there that are just not
Yeah.
great, and you can lump some isekai into that. Like I feel like at this point, isekai is its own genre, and if it's not like reborn in another world and they're in a fantasy world, like if they're reborn in a fantasy world, I'm like, cool, it's an isekai. But if it's straight fantasy, I'm like, great, I can finally categorize this as just fantasy. And so
Yeah.
I feel like just fantasy, not isekai fantasy, just fantasy is having a very good resurgence right now in anime.
It's so funny that you mentioned that Delicious in Dungeon because I really did love that, but it never occurred to me to call it fantasy because like for the video listeners, like I have like my D&D books here. I play in D&D. I'm a GM. I picked up Daggerheart, and like I never, but like I read that as like everything about it is just like, oh, this is D&D. This is
Yeah,
like even some of the
it's an
encounter.
adventure show for sure. Like it's an adventure, but like if you are categorizing it, it is technically a fantasy show.
Yeah,
Like you are in a
yeah,
fantasy setting with fantasy creatures. So,
yeah. There are dungeons and there is a dragon.
yes.
Well,
Yes
technically
there
there is
is.
a dungeon. There is a dungeon
There are
and a
technically other
dragon.
dungeons in the world. They
Yeah.
explain it, but yeah,
Same
no.
with dragons, but like for our purposes, there is there is the dragon and the dungeon.
For what we are focusing on, yes. But yeah, I feel like fantasy as a whole is having a resurgence. But onto the isekai topic, like
Mhm.
the past like 10 to 15 years, we've gotten a lot of isekai. We've gotten some
Ah,
very, very good isekai. And then we had a just giant, just bundle of years where we just had slop isekai. Where it's,
so this is let me say, isekai is my least favorite genre, and I hope that you can sell me on it because
oh, I'm
literally,
not.
I Okay,
Like
because
either okay, we'll continue. I may, but I'm not.
I I watched the first season of Sword Art like almost 10 years ago exactly when I was in college, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is really cool." And then I kept watching it and I was like, "Oh shit, this is really bad." And then and then every because of my friends, like every isekai I've seen then after has been like sexy girl harem and like
Yeah.
colonizer, I came to this world and now I'm their king shit. Which honestly, saying that out, like, is this the title of an isekai or a Fallout Boy song? Which sounds like the title of a
That's a
Fallout Boy song.
great fucking
We should
callback
do
because Fallout Boy songs like the original albums, wild titles, fucking wild, but great.
we should do that. We should play like a game, like kind of like
I really need to get a Jeopardy together between you,
Jeopardy.
Tyler, and one other friend.
What's it called? Isekai title or Fallout Boy song?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Write that
100%.
down. All right,
Um,
I'll draft up something for your desk on Monday.
Thank you. But yeah, no, Isekai is in a weird spot now because like we got all the slop, like just really bad shows that are just like not appealing. Like they are below average, even story wise. They're just fucking awful. And every once in a while, you get something good. Like we got ReZero, which really kind of started it. Like the to pop off the genre. ReZero is a wonderful isekai. Um, fuck, I forgot the second example in my brain that was a great isekai, and now I am just reeling. I am so sad.
Okay, is that slime one hype or
The
is that one just
reincarnated as a slime, I would say like it kind of falls into a shonen category of just like it's good. There's no real through line to it. Like he's just reincarnated as a slime and just kind of lives his life. So like there's
okay?
no real huge like through line plot. Like each arc is kind of its own plot and they just keep introducing more and more characters, so it's like you can't just go from one arc to another. You have to physically watch everything to understand what the hell is going on. I enjoy it. I think that there are moments of the show that are very slow and methodical and like really do a lot of setup that can really turn off a lot of shonen fans. But then there are when it does, like when that payoff happens for those slow methodical setups, it hits really well. Like it's very good. But yeah, it's just one of those things that there's a dedicated fan base for that series and they love it. Um, but yeah, like God, I'm really mad. I'm really mad that I can't think of what the other isekai was in my brain that was really really good. Oh, thank God. Jobless Reincarnation. That is another show that Tyler and I absolutely love. It's another isekai that is very interesting because there is a lot to love about it, and there's a lot of people that absolutely hate it. Because it is one of those things where a grown man, 30-year-old man, is reincarnated as a baby and, has to deal with people his age as a kid in this new world, including, wanting to hook up. So, yeah, people are like, that's disgusting, and whatnot, and it's just like, if you really, really want to dissect the show, he's not a good human being to begin with, and it's just like it's his journey of becoming a better person, etc. So I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there, but Tyler and I are both on the same page that is a amazing isekai as well. But yeah,
Okay.
we got a bunch of slop, and now we are at the point where it has kind of come full circle to where the isekai that are coming out are so bad that they are good. And
Oh,
I
okay.
don't mean it in the sense that just like they're so bad of like the Room type bad, like this is just awful bad, horrible, like there's nothing very good about it. You can meme it to death, but there's nothing good about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like the show in question, and Tyler's already rolling his eyes. I already know. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. Yeah, that's basically the
By
title
Fallout
of it.
Boy.
Yeah, it is Fallout Boy. Um, like that is a show. That is a real isekai where a man is reincarnated as a vending machine. Like we've gone full tilt of just like, yes, we know this is a joke. Here's the
Hmm.
joke and here's the show. Like that is where we are at now. Like another one is Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Like they are literally taking Power Rangers and putting them in another world where the man has like anytime he like turns into a Power Ranger, explosions go off in the background and people around him are like, were those explosions? What the fuck is happening? Like that type of deal. So like it's so weird to see the genre go from like these highs to just utter lows to like I don't know if this is good or if this is bad. Like
Hmm.
we know it's bad, but it's
Right.
somehow entertaining. And the entertaining point is where I'm just like, huh.
It sounds like high production Dragon Ball Z abridged, where like it's good, or like One Punch Man, where like it's good if you love the thing. Like if the any kind of parody or any kind of satire is really parody is only good if like it's clear that the creator loves the source material. So like if the creator of Vending Machine loves isekais, then it is they like to make fun of it. I guess is the thing. But
That's
like,
fair.
would you recommend watching either of those for someone who hasn't really watched isekai since probably Sword Art? Also, I would argue Solo Leveling to an extent is an isekai, which is probably why I didn't like it.
It isn't, but it is, but it isn't, I guess. Yeah, he is technically reborn, but he's not reborn in another world. Anyways, regardless,
Hmm.
I would recommend the two good ones that I said, ReZero, if you have not watched it. I'm not even going to give
Hmm.
away what the hell it's about. You should just watch episode one blind as you can.
Hell yeah.
Um, and I would say Jobless Reincarnation, at least give a chance. Go into it knowing that the main character is a flawed human being and is
My
forever
favorite
going to
kind.
be a flawed human being.
That's why I like Zenitsu and Usopp.
Oh boy. But I think that those two are definitely worth a watch. But if you want something ridiculously like just turn your brain off dumb, absolutely watch anything that's coming out now. Like I would say the Red Ranger one, like if you were a fan of Power Rangers, at least watch an
Yeah.
episode to see if it gets you. There's a dub. You can throw that shit on while you're playing a video game or whatever. You don't need to watch anything. You just listen to it and you'd be like, I already know what's happening. I know
Yeah.
that this is ridiculous. I don't even have to look at it.
Like I
Um,
say, I'm a fan of Go Go Loser Ranger
yeah,
for a while, and
I'm surprised you watched that. Okay.
no, I read it.
Oh,
I read it. But then like it became a thing of like learning like, oh wait, there is actually a difference between Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and I realized that they were making more fun of Super Sentai, and I was like, okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
don't even know if they were making fun of Super Sentai with that. It was just like its own interpretation of like, what if the Power Rangers of the Super Sentai were like super dark and violent?
Mm-hmm.
But
It to an extent, like the same way the boys. I don't know if you watched it, but the boys makes fun of the Justice League.
I still
It's
need to watch that show.
you
But
really don't.
you are the first person to say you really don't, because everybody that else that I've talked to is like, you have to do it. But
it that's one of those things of like I mean it's probably like any show in the world like when it came out it started to do something very clever, and then all as the show went on it just like became the thing that it was making fun of, like became the thing that it criticizes, like yeah, I mean I imagine any shonen right now that comes out whatever is gonna Jujutsu Kaisen, like Jujutsu Kaisen started off making fun of Naruto and Bleach and then became its own thing and became a thing.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
it kind of ate like it Ouroboros ate its own tail.
Yes, exactly. That's what The Boys has done, pretty much.
Oh Lord. To kind of just cap us off and just kind of put a bow on this episode, like what are the things that you've been enjoying? Like what have you been reading or watching that you would say that you really enjoy and you've kind of like really gotten into? Oh, I guess I say
Uh,
cap us off, but like for what I have to ask of you.
uh, Witch Hat Atelier is definitely like the most unique thing I've ever read because I know I've read like Western, the big two, like Marvel and DC, and so My Hero Academia, like Demon Slayer, I kind of read it with those with like that kind of like superhero like lens,
Yeah.
because they are superheroes. Like Shonen is the Marvel of thing, but Wish Had to Tell You, like the art is so beautiful. Like as excited as I am about the anime, I I'd be happy if like just reading it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if it like if it never got it as sad as it would be, it still is good. Versus like the I hate shitting on shonen because like it is my bread and butter, but like My Hero Academia, like at the end, I was just like, what the fuck is happening right now? And it's just like you were talking about lazy animation, talking about like lazy drawing, where it's just like, and like the anime will figure out what I'm doing with this. Uh but
Put it out there,
I've
let it
actually
figure it out later.
going back to the like kids WB Toonami thing. I've actually been watching Yu-Gi-Oh GX sub for the first time.
Oh.
Uh I'm surprised at how much I remember about it. I'm surprised where I'm like for like I know like people all like to butcher like people say that like oh like 2090s dub uh butchered in the dub like Jelly Donut, Pokemon and all that. But like the it's I'm surprised at how like faithful it is. Like the characters are for the most part exactly the same as they are. So that's been interesting going back to like watching like the original things that I used to love, but like how they were intended for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Uh what was it? There was like an actual crap, I forgot. What am I watching? I just finished something. Let me pull up my Netflix. Wait, what okay, so you tell me what should I watch next?
I mean, I've given you a few shows. I mean, it really just depends on
No,
what.
Daddy, tell me now.
Oh
Tell me
boy.
watch this now.
I mean, I've already told you you need to watch Freerun. I
Okay.
seriously think that Freerun is one of the best shows that come out in the past decade. Or anime, let alone TV shows. Me personally, I absolutely love music. I love all genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler and we absolutely love Bochi the Rock. If you've not watched Bochi the Rock,
Bochi, that's the one, yeah.
like
You
that,
but you told me about that.
yeah, like it is an absolute earworm of music that they actually perform. Like they've put out more music than the anime actually shows off. Like the fake band of that made the music. Like yeah, they make the band in the show, then they made a band to cover the show, and then that band has also put out more music than the show has aired. So it's just like I love it. It's great. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is wonderful. I'll listen to this all day long. I think that Bochi the Rock is absolutely wonderful. I think any of the not shonen, fantasy shows that I've recommended would be great. But I think the best anime show that Tyler and I, that we would consider the gold standard, like this is like the best of the best that we are going to get. It's an open closed story. It's one season. If you've not watched Pluto on Netflix,
Mm.
absolutely go watch Pluto on Netflix, because it is, not to call it like a mystery murder, but like it is for essentially like 80% of the show a mystery show of who is killing all of these people.
Is
Um,
that is that the one that's kind of a
it's
spin-off of Astro Boy?
correct. It's in the same. It's not a spin-off of Astro Boy. It's in the same world as Astro Boy, but it is the
Got it.
same author as Monster and 21st Century Boys. And if you've not watched Monster, I would recommend reading it. I think I don't even know how reading it would go, because I watched the anime, and while I do enjoy the anime, I think that it diverged into too many side stories of just like to get to the final point, that I was just like, by the end of it I was just like, great, sure,
Mm-hmm.
you did it. Um, but Monster was very good, but I would say Pluto is better because the pacing is absolutely incredible. The animation's incredible. Like everything about that show is wonderful. So, yeah.
Oh, also going back to seeing people wear merch, is Dandadan actually that good, or is that one just like mainstream normie good? Like what I like I
So,
like what I like it.
here's the thing. Yes, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
However, people do there is a very vocal camp that do not like the show because
Mm-hmm.
and it's a whole thing. The very first episode, they put a female character in a very compromising situation of essay, essentially, and
Okay.
a lot of people don't like that, and I get it, and I wasn't a huge fan of it too. However, the entirety of the series, this happens because it is a meta commentary of Japanese businessmen and the infatuation that they have with high school girls and whatnot. Like there
Mm.
is a solid commentary to that and why the author does that. It does happen occasionally throughout the series. It does happen less as the series goes by, but the first 2 seasons, it happens more often than not. And I think that it does turn a lot of people off for good reason. Not going to tell you if that is something you don't like. Great. Not going to tell you to watch it. I'm not going to, force my opinions on you.
Mm-hmm.
However, it has some of the best character building, in my opinion, some of the best love stories, in my opinion, and some of the most hype action scenes, some of the best backstories with emotions behind it. Like, there is legitimately everything in, like, anything and everything in that series that somebody in it, like, that likes anime, will enjoy. I think the
Okay.
only thing that even music, they do have music too. Like,
Yeah, that song,
like
opening.
no, it's not even the
Mm-hmm.
opening. Like, it's part the opening, but like in the show, they do have some music as well. That's not spoilers, but there are scenes that happen with very good music behind it, and for good reason. And I absolutely adore it. But yeah, it's not for everybody if that's something that you're like, that makes me uncomfortable, and you'll understand from episode 1 what I'm talking about. If you can get past that and see it as a meta commentary, and like you're not thinking of that as like, oh yes, I want to have sex with this character, I find this character attractive, and more so like I see this character is going through a struggle or whatnot. Like I think that as an adult, I've been able to like take out the sexualization of things and just be like, oh, this is just a shitty situation. If you
Depiction
were
does not mean endorsement.
correct, like if you were saying like, if you were finding that character sexual, then that is on you. That's not how I view it, and I view it as like the social commentary. And I know people are like, oh, Frank, you're bullshitting. It's like, whatever, believe what you want to believe, but that's my thoughts on it. I think that there's something in that show for everybody, and I thoroughly enjoy that show. I'm so sad that there was no new chapter today, because it comes out every Monday, a new chapter, and today they were having an off week. So,
Mm.
a little unfortunate. But yeah, Dan to Dan, I absolutely enjoy. I understand why other people don't enjoy it. So,
Got it.
it's the same reason why other people don't enjoy Jobless Reincarnation. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other questions that you have for me that I can answer for you?
Mm.
Duh, that's what a question is, Frank. I can fucking answer it. Jesus.
Maybe you don't. Maybe. Where do babies come from? From men. Like,
Stork.
what about the taint? Like, didn't the baby come out of there?
The fleshy fun bridge. No, the baby did not come out of there. Sorry, buddy.
That's where God stitched you up.
That's where God stitched you up, and we're gonna stitch up this episode. Thank you all for joining us this week. We greatly appreciate you getting this far into the episode. I know we did a lot of rambling this episode, but it was good conversation. I enjoyed it. So, if you want more of us, or at least Magically Average and myself, sorry, Danny. Or actually, you know what, Danny? Jesus Christ, my brain is just dead right now. Danny, where can the people find you?
BitKingDT, all the social media, youtube.com/BitKingDT. If you want video essays on Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and Digimon Season 2. It's not a crypto reference, it's a Digimon reference, and then those losers took it. So yeah, BitKingDT.
And we will put that in the link in the description down below. Thank you again for joining us. If you want more of Magically Average and myself, you can go to @Baka&Co on all your social platforms. We are probably there more than likely, unless you're on Facebook. I don't know why you're still on Facebook. Anywho, that's besides the point. Thank you again. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. So until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.